Okay, so let's just settle into a comfortable sitting position, and then your fur babies will also settle. Yep, this one fur baby is staring at us. All right. And if you are sitting up at your desk, have your feet flat on the floor. Really try and feel the soles of the feet, the toes, the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the outside edges of the foot. So through all my activities of late of swimming and doing yoga and doing the Tai Chi Chair practice, my feet have completely changed. The toes are wider. My foot is stronger. I'm quite surprised. So if any of you have any foot problems, I would suggest it's not something that you can't do anything about. I think there's a lot that we can do, and our feet are really important because we're holding our whole weight on them when we walk around. So imagine, just notice the weight of your legs in your ankles. Have your knees about a hip's width apart. Really be sitting on top of your sits bones, shoulders are aligned with the hips, and just imagine now your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And take a nice deep breath. Just relax. And then bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the temples, the back of the head, back of the neck. Relax your shoulders and shoulder blades. Relax the throat, the chest, the belly, and all of your limbs. Your hands can rest just where is most comfortable. Traditionally, your right hand would be nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. But for the purposes of our meditation, just, you can just make sure you're nice and relaxed. If there's any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to follow with the mind. And then notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. So some of you have had days today that are quiet, maybe contemplative. Maybe some of you had busy days, cooking, being with family, maybe the last 2 days. So there might be just a lot of images and thoughts and conversations in your mind. So just allow them to be there and then take a step back and just observe what's there. Some people think in pictures, some people think in words. Some people think in both. But however it is you think, try not to let your thoughts overrun you. So try not to follow them with the mind or make judgments or create stories that aren't maybe based on fact. And we can just put ourselves on the bank of our river and just know that while we're sitting on that bank, we're free from the river, free from the water. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, dear ones, the people that we are in profound, deep relationships with, karmic relationships. Then the ones, also karmic relationships, we don't like them, and then are strangers, and remembering they can all change place at any time. And then remembering they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And there's so many various problems and issues and violence and difficulties in many different parts of the world, in many homes. We can probably just send love and light out to all sentient beings. And maybe there's someone specific that you can think of in your mind, so you can just bring their name to your mind. So remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and this purification process is basically, it's a psychological one. We're working with our mind. We create negativity with our mind, so we can equally change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of your past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we ourselves might experience. So we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. Logically, it makes sense then to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I am sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has methods that we can use to purify. And so we're not needing that Buddha to forgive us. We don't need Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. He's not like a higher power. So we are purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods, his medicine. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine that this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. So this Vajrasattva is made of blissful, radiant, white light, made of light, radiating light. So just try and imagine for a moment you sitting there on the crown of your head, facing the same way as you. So really try and get a sense of the presence of this Buddha on the crown of your head. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings and the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of maybe someone you've harmed recently in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've done to you will result in suffering in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So then we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. Imagine all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam karuhum, ha 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 ho, bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa, mahasamaya satva a humpe, and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hompe and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, including yourself, and also including what you write, making sure that what you write is clear, understandable, and beneficial. So next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room, you flick on that switch, and the light in the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So in a similar way, the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, neediness, bitterness, grudges, depression, anxiety, all of this instantly dispelled. And Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hompe and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hompe and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hompe and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hompe, and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita, dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and speech, are completely purified. And then think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy. Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now comes the power of resolve and the fourth and final step in our purification process. And a really crucial one is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without making any kind of decision like this, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again because we have these kind of energetic habits. Some of them have come from lifetime to lifetime. Some we've developed this life. However, some of our habits are harmful, so it's good to sort of think about putting a stop to them. And this determination, this aspiration to not harm is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So Rinpoche would say everything exists on the tip of the wishes. So think of something that you would like to work on something that is reasonable with a reasonable timeline. And rather than giving yourself a hard time because, I did it again, just rejoice in the effort that you're putting into making these kinds of changes. And then also don't forget the effort that it takes just to even show up on Thanksgiving evening to do this kind of a practice. It's marvelous. And this determination to not harm is what gives us the strength to change. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, the Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, little something on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so then, if you have a wish, you can think for His Holiness Dalai Lama to have a long and happy and healthy life, then for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then for your own teachers. So everyone here has maybe a different teacher. Some of you have teachers in common. So just make just a strong wish for them to live long. And just all the people that are giving you, educating you, helping you, teaching you in a way that's benefiting you. Okay, everyone, happy Thanksgiving. Lots of love. And I will see some of you tomorrow morning